So today we learned that the BRICS nations, led by Russia, Brazil, China, India, South Africa, will, in this calendar year, 2023, surpass the G7 nations for economic growth. Now, do with that what you want. You can be positive or negative about it. You can think that's the doom and gloom, worst news in the world, or you can say that, well, there's positive news here, especially if maybe I'm a smart investor or figure things out for my family, where to invest or put my money in the future, and what horses do I want to get behind for the future. So this is according to Bloomberg today. According to Bloomberg, based on the latest IMF data, the BRICS countries will contribute 32.1% of the world's growth, compared to the G7's 29%. This is astonishing when you think about the amount. Russia is the most sanctioned country in world history right now. They're managing, along with Brazil, China, also under intense Western pressure, to surpass Western governments, the United States, US dollar, for global output and economic growth. It's astonishing. And Brazil as well, South Africa, India, which today was announced is now the world's most populous nation, beating China. You see where the goal or the puck is going to, don't you? Like where things are headed. And I cannot understand this. I mean, if people don't understand like what world shifting moment we're in right now, like you'll be able to tell your kids you were alive during 2023 when you saw these things shifting. This is a teachable moment for our kids, our families, to be able to literally watch Western hegemony start to decline and the rise of this new world order, this multipolar order, rather than being driven by just what the U.S. dictates and how things will go in the future. It's pretty remarkable to see this in the share of economic growth. Let's just take a closer look at this Bloomberg piece. And according to the Group of Seven Nations, so the U.S., U.K., Canada, France, Germany, Italy, and Japan, has long been considered the most advanced economic bloc of countries on the planet. Russia was a member, of course, until 2014, when it was expelled due to the fallout from the Western-backed Maidan coup in Ukraine. The report indicated that in 2020, the contributions from BRICS countries and the G7 to global economic growth were equal. Since then, the performance of the Western-led bloc has been declining. By 2028, the G7's contribution to the world economy is predicted to decrease to 27.8%, while BRICS will account for 35%. In total, 75% of global growth is expected to be concentrated in 20 countries, over half in the top four: China, India, the United States, and Indonesia. While the group of 7 countries will comprise a smaller share: Germany, Japan, United States, United Kingdom, France, among the top 10 contributors. And Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said that no more than a dozen nations have expressed interest in joining BRICS. We've already talked about Mexico. Mexico wants to join. Can you imagine what a slap in the face that is to the United States? It's like
would we still be in charge of their energy policy if they do that?
I don't know. We are right now
at that point.
Yeah, we love to tell. I wonder, seriously, given NAFTA, right? What does that mean if they join BRICS? Like, what does that mean for NAFTA if they join BRICS? I mean, we already are there heavily meddling in what they do with their energy policy right now. So I don't know. Argentina.
I mean, does that give us de facto, like if through NAFTA, if Mexico joins BRICS, that should give us de facto influence over Russia then, right?
Right, I guess so.
Did they become part of the NAFTA? That means everybody joins NAFTA. Hooray.
Yeah, so then Russia becomes part of NAFTA. Saudi Arabia wants to become a member. You imagine Saudi Arabia in BRICS. Already the oil outflows to China, the oil contracts increasing tremendously. Away from the United States. Again, guys, the writing is on the wall here. This is not to scare you, it's to prepare you, especially if you're in the West. and you see, like, if you've got your family's currency, you've got your family's future tied to the euro or the US dollar as like where you put and bet on your family's future, think differently about it. And just think differently about what this means for global power, global hegemony. Think differently too about, how your family travels or what sort of protections you have in place. Everyone's like, I just want to get a U.S. passport. Well, think in sort of like terms of like Andrew Henderson writes and talks about a nomad capitalist, like thinking about having like, go where you're treated best, right? As a human, go where you're treated best, and maybe having access to multiple ports of call, access to multiple citizenships. Where does business investment make the most sense for you? It's a big world out there. And guess what? The United States is not the be all end all. So think differently about things when it comes to these things. Also, another big story, if I can get my notes up here. The Bank of England says that cash will now become less usable, and get ready for a cashless society. So the Bank of England, the BOE, now saying that the cash will become less usable, and we're going to be moving towards a cashless society, says the Bank of England. Cash is to become less usable as shoppers embrace the internet and high street stores increasingly reject banknotes. So these stores are now saying we're done with banknotes, we're done with coins. We really just want to deal with just go cashless. Sir John Cunliffe says that it will become harder to spend physical money in coming years owing to the rise of online shopping and contactless payments. So, and maybe the way to go away from this, I've heard a number of people saying, is to let's all stop online shopping. Could you do that? Could you live without online shopping? Just tell me in the chat, honestly. If they said, okay, tomorrow, Amazon, no more Amazon. Do not use Amazon anymore. Boycott Amazon. Like, how many of you already boycott Amazon? Let me know in the chat. And you see it expanding now into the Middle East, Amazon. Like, it just popped up now, just now rolled out in Egypt. So now there's Amazon.eg, I think. If that's anyway. So yeah, now there's Amazon Egypt. Like, it's coming everywhere. Driving stores out of business. Could you live without it? A lot of people here in the chat saying yes, 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 but then a lot of people saying no, no, no. No, I couldn't. Other people saying no, I could. Never shop there. Yeah. Philip,
it'd be a challenge for me.
Yeah, it would be a challenge for a lot of people, right?
But I know I could. I mean, I did it for a long time. I mean, there's still, we really should be shopping at places like Best Buy and stuff like that to kind of split that, offset that. But so we could. It would just be hard because they deliver everything. They deliver prescriptions now, food. My dog food, my heartworm medicine comes from there now.
Yeah, well, and
not mine, my dog's.
This is the convenience factor, right? So it's contactless. Mm-hmm. You don't ever have to see the cash change hands at all, right? It's part of a digital account. It's not like you're counting out ones, so like the delivery man shows up at your door. Like it used to be back in the day when the milkman would come to your door, you'd pay him in dollars, right? Cash.
Well, and you could ship stuff COD. Remember that?
Yeah. I remember I had a paper route growing up, and I had to go around and get my, monthly or whatever. I had to go and get my payments for it. So I had to go around and knock on the doors and hope that people were home. A lot of times they weren't. I think I would go on a Saturday, and I had to keep going and keep going and keep going because not everyone was home. And I'd have to say, "Hi, I'm your paper boy. I'm here to get my collection," and they'd pay me in cash for it. So it was like a cash. Very often it was cash business for the whole setup. It's like, it's crazy how different it is now. They sign up online with their subscription. There's none of that. So he says cash is likely to decline further. Cash itself will become less usable in everyday transactions. For example, if the internet commerce grows and if merchants increasingly accept only digital payments, it's going to continue. Card payments took over cash as the most dominant form of payment for retail back in 2016. It's hard to believe it was even that long. It took that long until 2016 By 2021, 85% of payments are now made electronically. That's 2021. I have to imagine almost all of these payments are going to be, like 99% of them will be there very, very soon. So cash is disappearing, and very concerning for what this means for people who, want to have tangible assets like gold, silver, things to, be able to protect their families, taking out large amounts of cash in order to have on hand for transactions. I'm a big advocate of this, but the problem is if people won't accept cash, what are you going to do? To me, it almost sounds illegal. What do you mean you can't accept the currency of your country? You're a business. What are you talking about? I want to buy your thing. You're not accepting the currency of the country where you pay taxes? I don't understand that. How is that possible? Don't you have to, under the law, accept a form of legal tender that is provided by the government? You can only accept digital versions of that now? It's insane. But we knew this was coming. Let us know your thoughts on this in the chat below. I find this astonishing. Thank you so much for watching this segment here at Redacted. We are live every day at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, trying to share the stories that the mainstream media will not cover. You should also come over and join our community of Redacted Rebels over at redacted.inc. That's our private locals community where we can share exclusive content that we simply cannot share here on YouTube. Come over and join the rebellion together right now by going to redacted.inc. We'll see you next time.